For this assignment, I chose to go to the Pride Month drag show. This was part of a week-long Pride Festival in Iowa City, Iowa. There are drag shows every other weekend in Iowa City, but I chose this one because the public was clearly invited and it was not held in a bar. The public is welcome to attend the regular shows, but they take place while I'm working, and I avoid visiting bars because of my history of alcoholism. I chose this event because I really love learning about fashion. I like the whimsy and drama that can come with revealing a piece of art that you're supposed to wear. I had very little firsthand knowledge of drag culture when I decided to attend this event. I grew up when voguing was popularized and RuPaul was considered controversial. I knew that people spend a lot of time and effort developing characters and that they dress up to take a turn in a runway show. From attending this event, I learned that I had a very narrow, one-dimensional concept of drag culture. I was expecting to see something like a pageant or fashion show where the audience watches and someone judges. However, I discovered that there's a difference between a drag show and a drag pageant. A drag pageant is a competition. A drag show is just a performance. The audience is mostly comprised of people who are supporting one persona or another, and they're vocal about who they like best, but anyone can perform and be supported. Before this show, I thought drag queens were men who wanted to be women or who enjoyed dressing as women. Both of these assumptions are wrong. Drag queens are called queens because their persona is female, not because they want to be female. People who enjoy dressing in clothing of the opposite gender identify themselves as transvestites, and this doesn't mean that they are transgender. It also doesn't mean that they are not. Most of the performers in drag shows identify as male and really enjoy the exaggerated femininity of their persona. I was surprised to learn that some women dress in drag for their persona too. I didn't realize what a narrow idea I had of drag shows until I actually attended one. In my mind, these shows were portraying what women should be like, and I didn't like that. The cartoonish quality of the characters was offensive to me because no woman can live up to those standards, and these men are allowed to take the costumes off. They assume all of the privilege that comes with being men when they leave the stage. After seeing this drag show, I recognized that these shows are performances and the drag queens are the entertainers. It's not necessarily an expression of their identity. The persona they create is the piece of art that they're expressing through movement, costume, and posing, and they're taking a significant risk by expressing themselves in this way. I know from previous studies that minority cultures often become more stringent or adhering to the rules of their culture when they experience scrutiny from a majority culture. I had a chance to talk to a performer after the show, and they mentioned that the show was much less sexual than they typically are. They stated that they chose to tame down the performance for the Pride show because there would be so many people from outside of the LGBTQ community there. One of them remarked that some people come to this thing just to hate us. We're targets for hate. If I were to serve someone in the future who was into drag culture, the first thing I would need to do is learn a lot more of the language. I was exposed to some words that are intriguing, but their language describes a whole world of culture that I've only seen a glimpse of. I think it would also be important for me to understand how they develop their persona and what that persona helps them express. It takes a lot of creativity and courage to be a drag queen, and there are skills that can be transferred from this into other situations in the client's life. Finally, I would want to know personally how comfortable they are with me being involved in drag culture. It's not my world, so I need to respect all aspects of it, including how much I'm allowed to know. Thank you.